delicious. Hello everyone, welcome back to another brand new Dumarachi video. I know you guys might see a little change right here. I moved my PC down to the bottom of my desk and me on top of it because I wanted a third monitor, and now here I am. I have a triple monitor setup and it's freaking great. Except that one of them is a TV, so I have to get an actual monitor because I don't. And you know. Regardless, today I'm making a video about something that's wrong with Nintendo. You know, everyone's favorite company, everyone's favorite family-friendly company. Lately, Nintendo has been on our bad side and has really been for the community, as we all know and seen. But today, I want to show you why you should really care about Nintendo being like this, and this basically explaining the things that they have done. So I found an interesting tweet here a while ago that shares a link to a Google Doc that shares a whole bunch of information about Nintendo being scummy since like 2013. So I figured we'd just go through it together, and let's do it. So we're going to start here in 2013. So what we got here, Nintendo restarts their Virtual Console service on Wii U with a far smaller amount of games than was on the Wii, and users are wanted to pay if they want to transfer their VC titles from Wii to Wii U, and the service never grew to match the numbers of original Wii Virtual Console releases. Now, this is absolutely just the beginning point of Virtual Console's demise, because for some reason Nintendo just doesn't want to keep bothering putting these old classic titles that people will pay for and people will play constantly on all of their Nintendo systems. They just kept showing lack support for it, especially on the Wii U. Which is so weird, because I remember the Wii having so many goddamn Virtual Console games. I mean, I never owned them because I didn't have a job and my mommy and daddy weren't going to pay me to own classic Nintendo games. Regardless of that, I remember the Wii U having a lacking library of Virtual Console. They had some of the major hits, but not as much as people would like them to have. Nintendo cracks down on YouTube Let's Player by taking down many videos of creators simply playing through their games. This is still a problem that still arrives today, I believe. I remember this happening. I remember doing my own. You know, around 2013, 2012, when I first started this channel, you can look if you want to. They're still up. I had many playthroughs, episodes of Kirby's Epic Yarn and Kirby's Return to Dreamland. I was just playing through the game.
Prince Fluff moaned as he rubbed his cake-filled belly. But then, Kirby appeared with a cherry in his mouth. Kirby won the contest, and a looming tummy ache as well.
Yeah, he's gonna be happy after he gets to take a dump in the next few hours. Oh man. Oh jeez, my Wii remote made my thingy fall.
Right, and I remember specifically that I have an email here sent maybe a year ago about a actual copyright strike against the video. And I'm gonna find it real quick. Exactly, yeah, it's right here. I'm not even kidding. I'll pull a screenshot. Here's one of them. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Part 4, copyright content, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Audio 01, claimed by Nintendo. My small little video that barely, no, let's be honest, no one watched, alright? All those views had been from me, alright? No one freaking watched this. It was on the shittiest setup, known to man, and Nintendo still claimed it. You could barely even hear the game, and they still claimed it. They claimed me. I was like 12! Keep in mind, those emails were sent in goddamn 2018, and this shit was happening back in 2013. What the hell? And the fans raised over $94,000 donated toward breast cancer research in order to have Super Smash Bros. Melee played at EVO 2015. Nintendo of America tried to shut down the tournament, and they caved into demands in only a few hours. Sounds kind of familiar to something that happened here recently, Alright, so now we're moving on to 20. Nintendo shuts down a Super Mario 64 HD proof of concept remake that was built by a fan in the Unity game engine. Now here's the thing about this, right? From a company standpoint, I understand, right? You don't want someone stealing your game or whatever. Here's the thing, they're not making any money off of it. That's what Nintendo doesn't really realize, and Nintendo still does this to this day. Like, people make these fan games of Nintendo properties and IPs and all this stuff, right? But they're not making a single cent off of this. Like, no one, like this, whoever made that Super Mario 64 HD thing never made 1 cent off of it, and I guarantee you that. If he's gonna do nothing but lose money making that, and then Nintendo's like, yeah, no. DMCA takedowns were sent to Zelda Maker, a Super Mario Maker styled fan game creator, but for top-down 2D Zelda games. And that sounds really awesome, right? But again, it's like, hey, like, this is our stuff, you can't do that, and like, you understand that. But problem is that, again, they're not making any money off of it. And Zelda Maker is not a real game. It's not a Nintendo game that exists at all, right? At least didn't for a while. 2016, what we got? Nintendo shuts down a 3D browser-based remake of Legend of Zelda created by fans for the 30th anniversary of the series. Now again, there's probably going to be multiple of these of this Nintendo shutting down fan projects. They're notorious for doing that. And I'm just going to say this once, say it again. They're not making money off of it. If someone was to make a Final Fantasy inspired game about like the Final Fantasy 7 characters, right? I mean, gotta represent. If someone made like a Final Fantasy 7 inspired game, Square Enix would not be like, hey, no. They probably wouldn't say anything. They'll probably see it and be like, alright, yeah, whatever. Sent multiple DMCA requests to shut down AM2R, a beloved Metroid 2 fan remake that's been in works for over a decade, releases their own Metroid 2 remake just over a year later. So that could have been the reason why, because, you know, they want to have their own Metroid 2 remake. So that does, you know, it makes sense, but still, I mean, no money! Nintendo DMCA's Pokemon Uranium, a decade-long developed fan project, was promptly pulled from the web shortly after its release. Further action was taken when the game was found to have been updated behind the scenes. And I remember hearing about this. This was 2016, by the way. I remember hearing exactly about this, and I wanted to play Pokemon Uranium. When I first heard about it, I was like, oh my god, that's gonna be awesome. And I still, to this day, cannot find anything about it, and it really sucks that I really wanted to give it a shot. Now we're in 2017, this is when the shit really starts hitting the fan. So, the Nintendo Switch's releases and your JoyCon controllers begin to experience drift after a while for overwhelming a majority of users. Each JoyCon pair is pricey. Nintendo does not allow for free fixes to the controller. Many lawsuits have been filed against them, but to this day, issues not been resolved. This is something that's still very much going on, and it's interesting because Nintendo here recently stated that there is no evidence at all that JoyCons have drift. Everything's fine with them. And regardless of that, even though people have posted many pictures, have posted many videos, have posted many lawsuits, have done everything they can to say Nintendo that, hey, these controllers suck ass and they're not built right. Keep in mind, right, that this thing right here, this thing costs you $300, right? It comes with 2 controllers, the console itself. These things can experience drift. And these things right here, these controllers can cost you $70 goddamn dollars. These little things can cost you $70. The reason these things are so damn expensive is because they have all this technology inside them that is never used. Like, they have this HD Rumble. You guys remember HD Rumble? Remember how that was a huge selling point for these controllers? And yeah, they're not even goddamn used at all. Like, can you name one game in, like, from 2020 that uses HD Rumble, like, in a fantastic way? You probably can't, can you? You probably forgot that HD Rumble even existed. And I had this console since 2018. I've had it for a while, and these Joy-Cons have not experienced drift, probably because I barely goddamn use them. I use my Pro controller, and that doesn't have drift either. I use that a whole much. And it still bothers me that they don't allow free fixes, especially to this much problems. And people can get fresh Joy-Cons, no experience drift right out of the goddamn box. Worcester is banned from Twitch after streaming Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon early, despite being Australian and having a game officially released in its time zone. These DMC claims are almost always handled by Nintendo. That's a lot of brain power right there. The game's officially released, and they're like, hey, too early. Alright, now we're officially in 2020. Nintendo forces Sony to shut down any Nintendo release assets or projects within their creative game known as Dreams on PS4. So if you make a Mario game, Zelda game, whatever, in Dreams, Sony won't allow that shit. Fans managed to completely reverse engineer Super Mario 64 to release an impressive free download DirectX 12 PC port of the game after many years. Nintendo shut this down instantly, despite only one official way to purchase Super Mario 64, which through the acquainted Wii U eShop. Now, of course, this was before Super Mario 3D AllStars, where you can have Super Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy all for $60. At least before March 21st. We'll get to that later. Regardless of that, the only way before this to own a recent legit copy of Super Mario 64 was to get it through a eShop on the Wii U, which no one really wants to own anymore. Because why the hell would you have a Wii U when Nintendo Switch has everything the Wii U has except for Virtual Console? Yeah, I mean, it has unlocked frame rates, it has 4K support, widescreen support, like multi-monitor support, like ultra widescreen support and all that stuff. And Nintendo to shut that stuff down because why would they let their fans? Yeah. Fans noticed that many of Nintendo's Wii U Virtual Console releases were silently delisted in June of 2020. They just got rid of them because Nintendo submits takedown request to Boundary Break, a YouTube video series hosted by Shizes, I don't know. That uses camera control tools to find secrets and educate viewers on how games are constructed. So hey, man, we understand that you're making these videos about how these games look outside the normal camera, and how some games are made with some tricks or whatever, using level design and everything. We're gonna shut all that down. We can't have you do that. You can do it on other games, but ours, no way. Like, why? Why are you doing that? Why? It makes no sense. It makes no damn sense. I looked through this quickly, and I don't see Super Mario 3D All-Stars, so I'm just going to talk about that real quick, because I know it's a big controversy. So this right here is Super Mario 3D All-Stars on the Nintendo Switch. Beautiful it is, I know. This thing released for 60 bucks, and you get Super Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy. Alright, this is great because now Mario 64 is on a modern console, Super Mario Sunshine is on a modern console, and Super Mario Galaxy is finally on a modern console as well for the first time since being on the Wii. Regardless, these are all now on the Switch, and it's great, but the major controversy with that is that two things. One, this thing is only in production and released until March 2021. That means after March 2021, these things will no longer be made, will no longer be sold, and everything like that. So the only way you can get your hands on these copies are through eBay and all this other stuff, or leftover copies at stores that didn't sell them. I don't understand the whole idea of doing that. Like, I understand it's supposed to celebrate 35 years of Mario or whatever, but why make it a limited release? The other controversy about this is that Nintendo hates ROMs, right? They hate you emulating, they hate you using emulators, they hate you using fan ports, fan remakes, all this stuff, all these ROMs. But did you know that all these games right here are ROMs? And the Nintendo Switch is using an emulator to run these? These are not fully fledged remakes or anything like that. These are all ports of ROMs. These are all ROMs. Paid 60 bucks for ROMs. Nintendo delists Pikmin 3 on the Wii U eShop ahead of its re-release on the Nintendo Switch in October of this year. The game is shortly reinstated by Nintendo after fan backlash. So, like, yeah, but why would you get rid of the game on older consoles? So you have to force people to play Pikmin 3 on the newer console. They're getting rid of games on the Wii U because they're coming to Nintendo Switch. Not everyone has a Nintendo Switch. I mean, especially nowadays, because it's insanely hard to find a Switch for some reason. You can find Switch Lites, but you can't find like actual Switches sometimes. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Big House planned its 2020 tournament to be done online through Slippy, a fan-created modified version of the PC emulator Dolphin that allows for online net play using rollback netcode, allowing for a near-perfect connection between players. Nintendo shuts down the Big House's Melee Ultimate Online events as a result, being the Save, Smash, and Free Melee hashtags that trend worldwide on Twitter for consecutive days. We're in the middle of a huge pandemic. People still want to have their Smash tournaments, but we can't meet up in person that easily because state laws, limiting gatherings, how many people can be inside a building, especially Smash tournaments are so packed and have so many people. It's really hard to, spread everyone out and all that stuff, especially when they want people to be sitting by each other or sitting near each other. Sure, everyone can just wear a mask and all that stuff, but not everyone believes in masks for some reason, and it's just, we're living in dark times, people. So of course they decided to, hey, we're gonna have our event online. All right, we have this emulator with perfect connection. Way better than Nintendo's, by the way. We'll get in that here in a minute. Alright, so everyone can still play online. Everyone can play Melee. These competitive people can play Melee as if they're playing in person, and everything's great. Nintendo shut that shit down because, hey, you're using illegal copies of Melee. Alright, you're emulating Melee. You can't do that. You gotta have legit copies. When was the last time you've seen a brand new copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee on the shelf in a store? Probably not for a very long time. And once you have this idea that, if you want to run this event, right, you need to have copies of Super Smash Bros. Melees everywhere, GameCubes everywhere, GameCube controllers everywhere, everything. Everything has to work. Everything has to be, physical. Where the hell are people supposed to get Super Smash Bros. Melee's copies? If you go on eBay, people sell these things for huge amounts of money sometimes. Sometimes you find them for less than the double digits. Well, a lot of times in the triple because of how huge Melee is. And it's like, Nintendo, you're not making money off of Melee anymore. And apparently someone made this Twitter post about how Nintendo has hurt the Smash community. It's a huge long tweet longer about how Nintendo themselves have forced their hand, intervened in them actually supporting the entire Smash community for competitive play and all that stuff. It's a long post if you want to read it. Everything, all these a lot of these are in the description, the actual Google documents in the description as well. But many streamers are banned from Twitch after streaming Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity early, despite their game being officially released in Australia, Japan, and Europe. They got banned, not suspended, not, hey, here's a takedown of that video, you can't stream it, whatever. They got banned, meaning their entire channel that they built up is gone because they bought the game legitimately and they lived in a different country that wasn't Japan or North America. Chia tells about how she and many other tournament organizers were effectively forced by Twitch to stop streaming/hosting Project M events back in March of 2015. This was pushed onto Twitch by Nintendo, who effectively killed the scene in an instant behind closed doors. Streamers were forced to lie about it. Nintendo hates Project M. Why would you want to mod a game, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, right, to be more like Melee, so people could have played it a lot more effectively for tournaments and all stuff? Because it's totally not like Super Smash Bros. Brawl was a piece of shit game for competitive play and had like zero love for it in the competitive scene. You may consider Brawl to be your favorite Smash game because how much you played it when you were younger, but it's the worst game to play when it comes to competitive plays. Why do you care so much about a game that's been out for over 10 years? Why do you care about it? You're not making money off of Brawl anymore. You're not. Or you're not making copies of Super Smash Bros. Brawl anymore. So it's like you leave Brawl behind because now you guys are focusing on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate 2 generations later. And yet whenever people want to say, hey, can we work on this game? You know, can we mod it or whatever to be more supportive in community for, you know, it's been out for over 10 years and make money off of it? No! Nintendo begins taking down YouTube videos showcasing custom skins made for games like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate through modding. Why do they care so much? It's just skins. They're not, no. Just no. Nintendo canceled the stream for their official Splatoon 2 North America Open due to team names showing support for free Melee and Sega Smash. The community hosts their own Splatoon tournament called the Squid House, which has raised a prize pool of over $28,000 in just a few hours. All of the official Splatoon tournament with a prize pool of over just 2,500 Nintendo Gold points up for grabs. Participants disqualified themselves so they can play in the community tournament. Let's break that down for a second. So Nintendo has this huge tournament for Splatoon 2. People start showing support for free Melee and all that stuff, and they shut it down. They're like, nope, okay, never mind. Bye-bye. Even if no one decided to show support for Melee and all that stuff, their winnings would have been 2,500 Nintendo Gold points. Now, Gold points are basically eShop Nintendo eShop credits, basically meaning you can use them to lower your price or whatever on whatever game, right? So say you're buying a $60 game and you have some gold points, you can lower the price to how many gold points you have. Or like, you know, maybe you have a $60 game, now all of a sudden it's only like $55, you know, still cheaper, and use your gold points. So imagine going through an entire tournament, an entire huge tournament, just to get $25 in in-store credit. Wow. So they decided to make their own tournament, raise a hell of a lot more money than Nintendo was willing to give out, and it's $25 for winning a tournament. They can't even give out real money? $25 of in-store credit? Are you serious? This isn't the first time Nintendo's done this. They've given out gold points before for like Mario Tennis. I remember one time during a Smash tournament, Sakurai went there, and the reward was a Pro controller that's black and has a gold Smash logo on it, which is kind of cool. But imagine going through the entire tournament, kicking ass, sweating a lot, getting frustrated, anxiety through the nerves, just to win the entire tournament, to meet the creator of the game, which is awesome, by the way, but just for him to give you a Pro controller that you most likely already own. And it's like, yeah, this is cool, but I want money. I want money. It's discovered that Nintendo sent DMCA takedown requests to the maker of the custom Etika JoyCon reskin, which was released following the Desmond Etika of Boma's death in 2019. All proceeds were directed to charity. So this one really pisses me off because Etika is something that means a whole lot to me. I loved him a lot, and every time I think of him, I get insanely depressed, which I'm trying to fight through it right now. But you know, his passing, his suicide, everything, I mean, hurts so much. And I was like shook into the core. I barely spoke for the rest of that day. I couldn't think straight because knowing that he was officially gone. He was missing for a couple days, and I feared the worst. But the fact that it came true, and that So then I don't own these Joy-Cons because they cost a good amount of money. Basically, here's how it happened, right? You would go to this guy. You would like, okay, here's the money. I think it's like $70, $75, whatever. But here's $75. He's like, okay. Give me a few weeks, you'll get your Joy-Cons, right? he would go out. You had to buy Joy-Cons, right? Actually go out and buy real Joy-Cons from Nintendo themselves at store or whatever. He would then have new skins on them, high quality skins, by the way, with Etika's design, Etika's logos, and all that stuff. And then he would send you back to them. But that money, the money you gave to him, would go to charity. So he didn't even make a profit. Nintendo got the money. Nintendo got the money anyways, and they still shut it down. Nintendo, they literally gave you the money, and they still shut it down. What the Nintendo blocks dozens of videos on YouTube that include their music from various games, despite having no official way for fans to listen to that music. Nintendo does not put their music on Spotify, Apple, officially on YouTube or anything, right? Only way you can listen to them is by buying official soundtrack releases on like CDs or digital downloads, which they barely do, by the way. Or you would have to buy the game, and sometimes, very rarely, they'll actually include a soundtrack in the game for you to listen to. I'm bringing up 3 AllStars again because they include the full soundtrack for Galaxy, Sunshine, and 64. High quality, listens, nothing, bad or anything. So there's that. But if you want to listen to the music, you have to open the game, right? You have to open the game, put the game in, then you have to go to the soundtrack section and then start listening. Why not just listen to it on your phone? Why not just listen to it on your computer? Why? If you're not going to upload the videos or your soundtrack officially online for everyone to listen to, why are you taking them down? You aren't the problem. Hey, shit! I don't understand this business at all. You are officially just shooting yourself in the foot for no goddamn reason. You are not selling CDs or anything of Super Mario 64. How am I supposed to listen to Super Mario Galaxy's music officially from you guys if you guys are not going to put in the effort to actually make it accessible? I am not going to put in Super Mario 3D All-Stars in my console just to listen to Galaxy music. I'll play the fucking game! And I guarantee you, they'll do some other huge bullshit before the year's over. Probably 2 more things. 2 more things tops. It's so hard to not want to support them anymore because I love Nintendo. Their games are what I grew up on. I love Super Smash Brothers. I mean, Christ's sake, Sephiroth gets in Smash. I have to buy that because it's been a dream of mine for a very long time. I have to. It's like someone that you love so much, but they start turning into an asshole and abusive to you. And it's like, you have to let them go. Because you can't support this anymore. But you can't. Because you grew up with them. You love them. How can you let that go? It's your childhood. It's what makes you happy. Yet they're going to keep treating us like this. What are we supposed to do? We have done everything we can. Petitions, boycotts, hashtags, everything. And occasionally it works. Occasionally it does, but sometimes it doesn't, and the problem just persists, and we just give up, because Nintendo's a huge corporation, and we're just the consumers. They know that, oh hey, everyone's pissed off with us about Super Smash Brothers not getting official tournament love, but hey, here's Sephiroth in Smash, you're gonna buy it anyways. And it's like, yeah, you're right, because I want Sephiroth in Smash! You have to care about this, because if we don't keep trying, if we don't keep pushing ourselves to make Nintendo a better company, they're just going to keep doing it for years and years to come. And I'm not saying Nintendo's the only garbage company. I mean, there are others out there. There are more than others. Nintendo used to be top dog when it came to community support and love for everyone back in the 90s and early 2000s and all this stuff. They were. But lately, this decade, this previous decade, and this upcoming decade, they've been nothing but just hurting themselves and hurting the community. And yeah, sometimes they have really good shining moments. They really do. But it's just, this is not good. That's going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's not like I'm not going to break my Switch, show Nintendo who's really boss, because they already have my money. So if you guys liked the video, leave a like, subscribe, comment what you think is Nintendo's most scummiest thing. Did I miss anything really important? Did the document miss anything really important? Put it in the comments below. Tweet it out. I don't know. Let's start a conversation, you and I. Anyways, I'm done here. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later in the next video where I'm gonna do something else. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'll do something. I'm just so tired of it all.